This is my audience. And first, I would like to pass out a trifold brochure on the main points of my speech, and it also contains my solution. Each of you in my audience throws away almost 4.5 pounds of trash every single day. This is approximately 30 pounds per week and 1,600 pounds per year. This may not sound like a large number, but with 324 million people living in the United States, that is roughly 728,000 tons of garbage, enough to fill up 63,000 garbage trucks. According to data from Save on Energy in 2018, this is the equivalent of 22 billion plastic bottles every single year. Hello, my name is Harrison Hamilton, and I am a firm believer in trying to preserve the beautiful world we live in. Today, I want to discuss with you the burgeoning issue of inadequate recycling in the United States, offer a viable three-pronged solution, address the popular counterarguments surrounding this problem, and finally, urge each and every one of you to become involved. The United States is the #1 trash-producing country in the world, according to 2018 statistics from the Frontier Group. Despite being only 4% of the world's population, we managed to produce more than 30% of the world's trash. An even grimmer statistic is that of the 251 million tons of trash we produce annually, we only manage to recycle 33%. However, this massive amount of trash can be reduced with reforms being made in our nation's recycling program. A major impediment is the public confusion surrounding inconsistent labels on recycling bins. The result of this is that millions of tons of garbage is thrown into recycling bins. Garbage thrown into these recycling bins contaminates the recyclables, causing impurities that must be removed. This reduces efficiency, adds to the cost of recycling, and results in a less pure product for reuse, as stated by writer Paul Singer in 2017. Currently, U.S. recycling levels are at 21.4%, with these numbers being from a recent EPA-funded Yale University study. Clearly, there is a crisis in the United States due to public confusion about recycling. Therefore, nationwide policies with uniform standards need to be implemented to combat this confusion and increase recycling in our country. My proposal has 3 components. First of all, to ensure compliance, recycling must be mandatory and enforced at all levels of government. Local municipalities, state, and federal regulations must reinforce each other. Second, labeling of recycling receptacles must be standardized through color coding or a numbering system, along with labels that clearly identify acceptable contents for each bin. Whatever system that is adopted should be user-friendly. To avoid polluting recyclables, appropriate disposal containers for household organic trash and garbage should be readily available and maintained. Standardized labels are proven to increase recycling levels 50 to 400%, according to EPA data from 2019. The third element of my proposed solution is a comprehensive kindergarten through high school program that highlights the critical importance of proper recycling and educates students in effective methods. According to the EPA's National Framework for Advancing the U.S. Recycling System, which was released in 2019, education is essential to guaranteeing sustained longevity to any recycling program. People opposed to recycling programs often believe that labels will not improve the system because they do not believe in recycling in the first place. They would argue that most of what we recycle is simply disposed of in a landfill anyway. However, this viewpoint is inaccurate for a simple reason: money. Actually, recyclables do get recycled because recycled material is big business and has a significant dollar value. Recyclables are a valuable commodity in a worldwide market. If U.S. recycling levels reach 75%, it would be the environmental and CO2 equivalent of removing 55 million cars from U.S. roads each year, according to Recycle Across America 2020. This emphasizes how we can have a dramatic impact on saving our environment by doing something as simple as sorting our trash into recyclable and non-recyclables. Recycling benefits the environment, the economy, and especially future generations. Recycling helps our world's environment by saving non-renewable resources. For example, recycling saves energy. Recycled steel saves 60% production energy. Recycled newspaper, 40%. Recycled plastic, 70%. And recycled glass, 40%. Recycling has aided our nation's economy through the creation of jobs. The National Recycling Coalition reports that recycling has created 1.1 million jobs, $236 billion in gross annual sales, and $37 billion in annual payroll. Overall, recycling can make a huge difference in preserving the planet for future generations by protecting the environment and conserving natural resources, as highlighted by the 2020 report of the National Institutes of Health. Therefore, I believe that policies must be enacted to enlighten American citizens on how to recycle, its myriad benefits, and why it is a necessity. My call to action for you, my audience, is to encourage your parents to go out and purchase a certified recycling bin for your home. I also encourage you to make sure you know the proper materials in which you can recycle. This reduces the strain on our nation's recycling infrastructure and reduces the overall amount of trash in landfills. Thank you all for your time today, and I hope you know that the future of the world is in our hands. Now we will begin our Q&A question session. Question 1.
How many jobs did you say were created as a result of recycling?
As I mentioned earlier, the National Recycling Coalition reports that recycling has created 1.1 million jobs in the United States.
Wow, that's a lot of jobs.
It is. Question 2.
Do you want recycling to be a class in school?
Well, I wouldn't think of it as more of a core curriculum class. I would want it to be more of an advisory lesson where, like on a one-day-a-month basis, students would watch designated videos on recycling and go over similar points in which I talked about in my speech. Question number 3.
Does your family recycle?
Yes, my family does recycle, and we have a recycling bin and a poster with the proper recyclable materials in which you can put in it. So again, I hope that you got something out of my speech, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Very good.